Welcome back to the Garage Full of Freedom. Anthony here. We're going to be working on the Ranchero a little bit. Got the rims and tires out of the basement for the summer wheels here. The old Magnum 500s. Got the 15x8s on the back. And got 275/60 15s, obviously, for the rear, and a 225/70 in the front to fill these giant wheel wells. So let's get after her. Throw them suckers on there and say goodbye to those little 14-inch painted Magnum 500s and 14-inch torque thrusts that rub the caliper. I don't know. They gotta go. We gotta get those big ones on there. Look pretty good on the old Fury too. But we like the wheels that are on the Fury. We're gonna leave those. Okay. Yeah. Daisy agrees. Let's get after it. Now this part might make some of you cringe a little bit. What I did here last year was finally replace the old factory from 71 brake hoses down there. And those are brand new finally. That should have been done 100 some years ago. Still got some pretty bad pitted rotors. I'm sure those are from the 70s too. Brake pads I might have replaced, but it doesn't pulsate, so look at that goodness. Woo! Got my lug nuts in the basement, so I gotta go grab those. But these wheels are from Jegs. Nothing against Jegs. Their customer service is great, super good. But Wheels Vintique, on the other hand, who makes these rims, they got a machine that is not calibrated. Let me tell you, I sent 6 or 8, probably 6, 8-inch rims back. And this is at least my 3rd, 4th, maybe, front rim, just trying to get a 7-inch that wasn't welded crooked. These things come bent, and I had to settle, or else I was just never gonna have them ever. My last 8-inch one I finally got this year. I ordered them 2 years ago, Black Friday. Black Friday was useless, didn't give me anything off. But that's when they were $189 a piece, which is still insane, and now they're like $235, so you can bet your butt I was waiting for that last rim to come. Finally did. I balanced it the best I could, and I'm stuck with the wobble going down the road. It's lame. Got my nuts from the basement. I wax them every year so they don't rust, but they're pretty cheapies. We'll see what happens. Still got some factory caps. Didn't buy those super skinny ones that are like $65 a piece. It's way too much. So we're stuck with these. Yeah, that's when I put the new wheels on. I guess for those that don't know, that's the 22nd week of the year 2021. That's what the full dot number means, the last 4 of them. Back side of the tires usually only show the first few, but there should be one side that shows the full dot. And that'll tell you what year the tires are, so if you're buying used tires, you'll know what they are. Little tidbit of information for ye who don't know. There we go, to set her up 70s style now. That's that full droop right there. You can see these have been rebuilt. They're black. Let's see if we can check the old brakes here. A little bit of crud, that's standard. Just dump that off into the floor. That looks a little concerning. Should not be moist looking. Just peel back the boot. Oh my. Looks like we're gonna put some freaking wheel cylinders in this thing. No surprise there, I guess. Those might be original. I know. Shocker. Got some goobs in there. I mean, this thing always had super good brakes. Can't even do a brake torque with it. So I guess I need to get some new wheel cylinders for an 8-inch. I think I'm gonna order some new air shocks too, so I can get those plumbed in. Get this thing sitting level. There's the exhaust. This is the bad side. Gotta get her fixed. But we're gonna throw this drum back on there because we're not doing it today. Put the big fatty on there. Then we get a look at the side of this thing. Shoot, dang. Their side sits lower, but that's why we gotta fix those air shocks. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. I'm sure you've seen it on other cars, but you know, it's always an exciting moment every year when you finally put your summer wheels on. Even though it's raining and like 40 out, if that. Feels cold as crud. Alright, here we go. Like Joe Dirt. Dang. That looks yummy right there. And they clear. You can't get a finger in there, but they clear. That's what I like. Filling that wheel well. The front one's pretty good too. It's hard to tell because the wheels turn, but these things have giant wheel wells. Looks pretty sick though. Beats the hell out of these. Yep, this one's leaking too. Let's throw that shit around. Peek inside this one. Nothing's oozing, but it's damp. You can see it's wet. It's not dry like the rest of it. You get it. There we go. That's a better tip. Just right out the side. Alright, throwing this drum on this wheel. Progress. It wouldn't hurt to do. It probably wouldn't hurt to do a set of rotors on this girl. Get where the light can shine in. These things aren't very thick. There we go. Pads aren't great either. And you can tell these little slide pins are not gonna last long with that boot all garbed. If there's a grease nipple, no, I'm just kidding. That's your bleeder. Don't get too excited. New brake line there too. Hose, technically. Alright. Little Fenton Hustler 14-inch wheel, sandblasted or bead blasted. Just a roller. Hits the caliper right here. Or maybe it's here. This is kind of high. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They don't rub my 15-inch Magnums, so I'm happy. Putting these lug nuts on here. Got one that won't start. These things must be from China, because that thing is all tore up. It's only been on there once. Good grief. Maybe twice. That sucker's chewed. No wonder it won't go in there. I'm gonna have to break that garbage off it. Parts these days, I tell ya. Garbage. There she was. There we go. Put the bad lug nut in the back because, you know, it'd be nice if wheels didn't fall off and lug nuts weren't, you know, torquing weird. Anyway, put it on the back here because there's a few things I'll ignore on a vehicle, but I'd like brakes, so I'm gonna fix that. And wheels not falling off is always a better time than wheels falling off. Okay, so got these all on. Just gotta lower the front. Got the old Cooper Cabras, radial Gran Turismo. I don't know. All these are from 17 to 21. Older, but whatever. Can't even tuck a finger in there either. That sounded bad. Anywho, love this car. Say that about all of them, but I do. Made my usual Summit order weekly. Got some Monroe air shocks, and I'm sure it comes with a installation kit, but I bought another one so I can run them independently, side to side. As you can see, it's a little bit higher on the passenger side there. Looks like perfect. Both GTs are at the top. Nice. Let's get this thing on jack stands and see about throwing them under. Got her all jacked up. Got her Steve Dulcich high. All the way, of course. Look at those fat meats, man. They get me every time. Here they replaced the old factory air shocks, and that right there is gonna just shut me down. There's a bed plate in the bed you have to remove to get to that nut, apparently. And those are original. As far as I know, there'd be no reason to think otherwise, being low ownership. And they're definitely not great. So we're gonna give that a shout. Welcome back into the garage. This is a different day, obviously. New shirt. Gonna be working on the old air shocks for the Ranchero. Got the new ones over there somewhere. Anyway, we got the bed plate here. Pulled up all the bolts on that, and then this plate's never been off. But we gotta remove it to access the upper shock mount bolts. So we're gonna get after that. As you can see, I already got all the bolts out. So all we gotta do is lift her up. Sorry if you can hear my Daisy girl eating her food. Oh man, I've never actually looked under one of these before. There's the bolts. Normal shock bolt mounting, I'd say. There's a little rubber thing. Matches that rubber thing. Looks like there's a little bit of dirt in there, gotta clean out. And I'll reseal this bad boy. I need to get a new clip for that one. It fell out and was spinning. Maybe they're supposed to turn out of there, I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna have to put it back in there, put a new one in, something. We want all of our clips. And then I gotta reseal it. I don't know if I use butyl tape or some silicone. But we'll figure it out once we get the shock swapped. I just cracked the nut loose, and then look at that. Just unscrews like nothing. Unreal. And I just noticed there's a windshield trim piece right there. It's been here for who knows how long. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be sealed off for the old Elementes. Just crack this side loose. It was barely even tight at all. Look at that. This sucker looks like it's brand new. That's some NOS window trim clip. That's crazy. Thing's gotta be brand new. So I got the red primer or whatever they used on there. Here's what we're working with for parts. Ordered an extra kit from Summit there. Look at that, made in USA. I don't remember if I said it or not, but I'll be running independent. Then we got the Monroe M805s. These guys look brand new, because they are. You got the little sack bag right there. There's a little nip, screw on the airline. And I got these nuts and washers off. Just gotta get the rubber out. I have to fix that clip. Looks like that one started to break too. It's not ideal. But I'll clean up all the threads on these. Some sort of plated bolt back in the day. I got these new shocks on. They look the same, so shouldn't have to worry about side to side. Gives us some giant bushing spacer or something. I don't know. Maybe it goes on there, takes up room, unsure. Should be one on each side. We're gonna get her all jacked up in the air and take the lower mounts off. Got her up on the old jack stands. But just tuck and tie her. Okay, you get a fingertip in there, that's what you want. Just squeezing her in. Then we can get that out of there. Looks like we got a hole there. There we go. Got us a drop light under here so y'all can see something. And we're gonna rip these suckers off with the old crowbar, hopefully. Just gonna give them the old pry. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe go from the other side. Maybe not. Maybe it's not tall enough. I don't know. Sure. Oh, yeah. Alright, we'll give this side a try so you guys can actually see something. Just shove your crowbar or pry bar up between there. Pry it off. Try not to hit yourself in the face. For Pete's sake. Crying in the rain. Back over here now. Here's a new shackulator. Airline goes on there, of course. And you got the bushing here. You can go that way. Or has a smaller end, but I already test fit in. We need the bigger one because we got the giant hole. So apparently that's cool. And we got this Silglad, which we threw on the bushing here just cause, so it doesn't make that squeaky sound. And it's pretty good stuff. I use it on my king shocks, on my Bronco, or on the bushings and the shackles. They seem to work pretty good. And we'll use that as a little bit of lube to help get around the shaft. Now we want to point the air nip away from the exhaust, of course. And then we'll struggle to get this on there, and I'll be right back. Got the upshot nuts on, the brackets, got the washers in the holes there. And we're basically ready to put this back on. Should probably vacuum that out. We don't want it rotting out. The floor is a little rusty under where your feet would be if this was a station wagon, because they're built on the same platform, the wagons and the Rancheros. But there's just a little bit of rust there on the underside of the car. We'll take care of one day. But again, we gotta put this panel back on. I've never taken off before. Pretty cool. Interrupt this normal broadcast for a small sesh of 296s, F-150, and the Ram 2500. We're going to get a couple of 70 Rancheros. I think one's actually a 71, but the other one's a 70, according to the hoods at least. So we'll be on that today. One of two. Guys got some 62 Galaxies, but I won't show those because I didn't ask. Well, got the air shocks in the vehicle. Got the old line out. He's laying right there. And looking at the destructions here. That's what I was looking for. Not so much all these words. Just pictures. How to put it together. I got one of them together. Pretty easy. And then it's my first time. Anyway, this might be important here. Min pressure is 20. Don't exceed 150, and said don't run them fully extended or something. Run at least 20 psi all the time for good boot life. And that's kind of trippy. I think these are glow in the dark or something. But anywho, got my other side. We'll call that left side. We'll call this one right side. It's gonna crawl under there with these little clips that are weird in my image here. We're gonna route them, plumb it into where the original T went in down through the gas tank, and then I'll have to figure something out on the driver's side when we get after. Here we are underneath the rig, and that's where the original one was. Drilled through the gas tank. Anywho, there's the line. Ran through the frame, zip tied it there. Above the exhaust, pulled her tight with the zip tie. Ran it through there. And then into the shock. Got them all crimped tight. Got that one done. Got this one done. Ran that one along the frame as well. Obviously, used one little retainer clip that it came with. And I am stuck. Anyway, and then I got the other one temporarily zip tied until I can drill another hole. But before I do that, I want to test them out. And then we'll go from there. Now it's time to lower this puppy. Alrighty, here we go. See if she sits any lower. Oh boy, it looks pretty level, pretty laid out. See if the other side looks the same. Still sits higher, so we're definitely going to have to level it out with the shocks. That's 3 fingers above the white letter. This one's probably 1 if there was white letter there. 2 max. It was at the top, which it's not, of course. But this side looks really nice. I like that. But I got no air in the shocks, so I gotta put at least 20 psi in them, but I don't have my air check here, so that'll be tomorrow's gig. I can put some air in the shocks and then put at least 20 psi and level it out. Hopefully each side will level out pretty evenly with the psis. Then we'll see how it looks, assess from there. Should be able to level it. Feeling confident. So we'll get after that. There's Daisy. She wants to be in this, so that's cool. She's always supportive. Easy girl. Next step, I reckon, would be getting this floor pan back in, but we gotta blow all the dirt out and all the packages. My buddy doesn't have a channel or anything, but he's got those 2 Rancheros and he's working on them because he's only got 1, 2 basically hot rods. He's got a lot more time, more focused. We'll figure it out. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode, working on the old Ranchero. We got the air shocks done. Where I left off was I aired them up and the right side sits higher, so that side needed like 100 psi to be level versus the driver's side having only 20. So I don't know, they rode like poop, so I just let the air out and just put them all the same, and it's just crooked still, and it rides a little like a sponge basically. I don't like it, so I'll probably take those off, put them on Grumpy since that one hauls a trailer, and then I'll put the regular shocks on here and then just live with it. Maybe it'll ride better. And we'll leave the air shocks to the truck that pulls stuff. So that's gonna do it. We'll catch you on the next one. We're gonna be working on the Fury, doing some firewall patching, so that should be good. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.